All right, welcome everyone. I'm so pumped you're here with us today. If you're focused on building up that solid financial future, well, we all know the journey has to start somewhere, right? Today's explainer is all about tackling one of the biggest, most intimidating financial challenges out there. We're going to break down a direct, no-nonsense blueprint, straight from top financial strategies to show you exactly how to conquer a massive personal milestone. $10,000. For a lot of us, this figure feels like the ultimate treasure, doesn't it? It's like this elusive, almost mythical milestone that only a lucky few get to see sitting in their bank accounts all at once. But I want you to completely stop seeing it as some distant fantasy. Seriously, look at it as an absolute reality. Sure, it's a life-changing milestone, absolutely. But more importantly, it is a mathematically achievable target. You can literally do this. Because what if I told you that saving your first 10 grand is actually the most important financial milestone you can ever hit? Hitting this exact number, it isn't just about the cash itself. It's really about fundamentally rewiring how you operate on a daily basis. It's proof, hard proof to yourself that you have what it takes to actually accumulate wealth. So we're going to take this daunting sum and reframe it into a deeply personal, totally achievable target. Okay, let's dive right into this blueprint. We've got 5 main steps today. 1, the 10 grand milestone. 2, build your financial foundation. 3, trim the excess spending. 4, accelerate your daily income. And finally, 5, invest for long-term wealth. All right, so let's kick things off with step 1, the 10 grand milestone. Now, before we even touch the math, we gotta talk psychology. We have to shatter this massive mental block that keeps so many incredibly hardworking people stuck on that endless paycheck-to-paycheck treadmill. You see, a lot of folks look at a $10,000 goal and instantly think, no way, impossible, simply because they're entirely focused on earning more. They mistakenly believe that saving up a big chunk of change requires winning the lottery, bagging a huge promotion, or just stumbling into some sudden fortune. But the real magic of this blueprint, it's all about managing your money better. It's systematically organizing the cash you already have coming in. Which brings us right up the ladder to step 2. Build your financial foundation. Look, if you're going to manage your money better, you literally have to build from the ground up. The absolute first practical thing you must do is know exactly where your money is going. I'm talking about tracking every single expense for 1 whole month. Every morning coffee, every utility bill, even that random pack of gum at the checkout line. And I mean this with total seriousness. You will be shocked. Uncovering all this money you're spending on stuff that just doesn't matter, that is the absolute core of budgeting. You can't fix a leak in a boat if you don't know where the water's getting in, right? Well, you can't save 10 grand if you have zero clue where your cash is leaking out. So once you actually see where your money is going, we bring in our magic number, 20%. This right here is the absolute heartbeat of this blueprint. Whenever you get any kind of income, a regular paycheck, a holiday bonus, a random side hustle payout, 20% is the mandatory target that has to be saved. So the crucial point here is a concept called paying yourself first. What this means is you take that 20% and you tuck it away in savings before you spend a single dime on anything else. You really have to treat this just like a mandatory, super important bill. Think about it. You wouldn't just skip your rent or ignore your electricity bill, would you? Of course not. We need to completely reframe how we view saving. It's not some harsh restriction on your fun, it's a mandatory payment to your future self. Literally the most important bill you're gonna pay all month. All right, moving on up the ladder to step 3, trim the excess spending. Okay, so you're tracking your cash, you're paying yourself first, and now we hit the optimization phase. This is where we go to war with those daily little monsters that are just draining your budget. And let's be real, I think we can all feel a tiny bit of guilt when we look at these categories. Eating out way too often. Unused subscriptions. Yeah, I'm talking about that premium streaming service you literally haven't opened since last year. It's silently draining your wealth. And of course, the dreaded impulse shopping. These might just be small everyday habits, but they take a massive, massive bite out of your potential savings. I want you to really internalize this. Small daily expenses add up, and reducing them makes a massive difference over time. It always seems so tiny in the moment, doesn't it? Just $5 here, maybe $10 there. But cutting these seemingly tiny wastes is exactly how you protect the money you've worked so hard for. By trimming the fat, the excess, you are basically defending that 20% savings goal and making it infinitely easier to actually pull off. Let's shift gears a bit and jump into section 4, accelerate your daily income. Now, while managing what you have is super crucial, Saving by itself does have its limits, right? I mean, you can only cut so many expenses before you just hit rock bottom. So to really put this process on fast forward, we have to talk about earning. The more you bring in, the faster you save. It's really that straightforward. And today, man, there are so many incredible modern avenues to accelerate your income. We're talking freelancing, kicking off an online business, leveling up with some new AI skills, or even selling digital products. We live in an era where boosting your income doesn't just mean begging your boss for a tiny 3% raise. You can proactively go out there and capture more revenue yourself. And the best part? As your income goes up, you keep applying that exact same 20% roll. Your savings will pile up unbelievably fast.
And that brings us to the fifth and final step of our ladder today. Invest for long-term wealth.
So you've optimized your budget, you've accelerated your income, but listen, the blueprint doesn't just stop at hoarding a pile of cash. You absolutely do not want to leave all those hard-earned savings sitting completely idle, just slowly losing their value to inflation over time. Nope. To build real long-term wealth, you've got to learn how to invest wisely. That means taking a good hard look at your specific goals, figuring out your personal risk tolerance, and then putting your money to work so it actively grows over time. Honestly, guys, that is exactly how the wealthy stay wealthy. So let's tie all of this together. Hitting that first $10,000 milestone, it's not about being lucky, and there's no secret magic trick. It truly boils down to three very specific behaviors: consistency, discipline, and smart financial decisions. It's rolling up your sleeves and doing the boring work of tracking your budget for a month. It's having the ironclad discipline to pay yourself that 20% first, no matter what. And it's making the smart decision to finally cancel that useless subscription and maybe learn a cool new AI skill instead to boost your income. If you just follow this exact sequence, I promise you, the math practically does all the heavy lifting for you. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a really powerful question to think about. What financial decision will your future self thank you for? You've got the blueprint now. The steps are incredibly clear. But remember, knowledge is really only potential power until you actually apply it. So start today. Whether that means downloading an expense tracker app tonight or setting up an automatic transfer to route 20% of your next paycheck straight to savings, just make a move. Your future self is waiting for you to take action. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I had an absolute blast, and I cannot wait to guide you through our